I started really young, right? I mean, 9 years old, I was already experimenting with cigarettes. I mean, I was drinking alcohol by 12 years old. By 15, I was homeless, involved with drugs and gangs and alcoholism. I mean, I started really, really young and barely made it to 18 years old. So by that point, I mean, I was already really sick. I was, eating really toxic food, just a lot of problems at home. Parents divorced early. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of dysfunction there. Didn't get along in school, was in and out of jail, house arrest, all these things as a kid. I mean, I was just a lost, troubled youth, like so many millions that we have today. And along that path, was didn't know anything about health, didn't know anything about living a good quality life, didn't know anything about, taking care of my body, my mind, my diet, my nutrition. And so really, nobody thought I was going to make it past 18 years old. I mean, that's to be brutally honest. And so, yeah, I mean, I was definitely a disaster and was totally polluting my body, almost dead. And I actually was able to move in with a really good friend of mine, and live with his family, with his parents for a while. They took me in, and they were really beautiful people. I mean, really spiritual people, eating super healthy. They were vegetarian. They were, eating, they were shopping at the co-op and eating organic and local and, meditating and teaching me about classical music and all these things. So I'm in this environment, 16, 17, 18 years old. And I just loved it. I just absorbed it. I mean, I go out at night and party like crazy and get in trouble and all that. And then, come to my refuge there during the day and sit and just talk spirituality and classical music and all these things. And I loved it. I mean, it just sparked something inside of me that knew there was something deeper, more meaningful in this life. And so, the short of it is, about 18 years old, I had this epiphany. I had this vision actually of myself in the future, which was really crazy. It was one of the rare times I was sober at that time. So it was like a real vision from spirit, from God, from the universe, whatever we want to believe, but it was a very clear vision of myself in the future, standing on a stage, speaking to thousands of people. And I looked healthy in that vision, and I was helping people with something. I didn't know what, but I was just like, I saw a potential of myself in the future that I had never seen before. And that kind of sparked this whole thing. My friend at the time, who was their son, Gabe, he's like, hey, I'm moving to California. I got to get out of here. We're going to die. We're going to end up in prison. I was like, all right, man, I'm going with you. So we loaded up. I had a 1988 red and white Cadillac Coupe de Ville. we threw our suitcases in there, a couple duffel bags, really. No money, drove to California, ran out of gas. And honestly, in Oceanside, California, at 18 years old, that's where I just totally started my life over. I was homeless at 15. I was, couch surfing, living out of my car, was living on people's sofas, things like that. And then homeless again at 18. And then homeless again at like 21 or 22. There was another time. So 3 points in my life, I literally was homeless. I was either living out of my car, I was sleeping on park benches, or I was staying on people's couches. I didn't have a place to call home. And each time though, it was like, the third time, let's put it that way, was actually a really spiritual experience for me. And it was teaching me how to be happy with nothing. So I was already a few years into meditating. I was already a few years into working out and cleansing my body and discovering like, okay, I know what it's like to be unhealthy, to be sick, to be unhappy, to be stressed, to be angry at life, to have resentment, to hate my, the people I'm supposed to love and all these things. I knew what that was like. But I didn't quite yet know what forgiveness was like and what love was like and what, happiness and vitality and health was like. And so I said, I got really good at being really bad over here. Let's see if I can get good at being good. So I made that my mission, to not only discover for myself what a good quality, healthy, happy life is like, but then share that with others along the way. I was actually discovering how to be really happy in that situation. I was discovering how to, discover myself. I was meditating literally at some points hours and hours a day. I was just, I didn't know what I was going to do for food and it didn't matter. I remember I was reading the Bhagavad Gita at that time. And I remember I'd wake up, and this is relevant for anyone with cancer or any chronic disease, truly, because what I discovered is something I've found over the years that a lot of people I've interviewed who've reversed cancer, commonalities, right? And so I woke up that one morning and I remember seeing my thoughts for the first time, and they were like so negative. And I'm like, what is all these negative thoughts? Where's it even coming from? And it was like I stepped outside my body and witnessed my thoughts for one of the first times. And from that moment forward, I started a practice to which I still have to this day, which is now automatic, where I wake up and I think of the things I'm grateful for. I think of now my family. I think of my health. I think of all the people I get to serve and support and help along the way. This is just as my negative thoughts were once automatic. And we know through epigenetics and the science of the biology of belief that our thoughts literally can cause disease or help our bodies reverse disease. Those negative thoughts compounding over years and decades can literally contribute to disease proliferation or to your body's ability to heal itself. I changed those negative thoughts for positive thoughts, for thoughts of gratitude. And it's like that point forward, my life started to improve drastically. I was really like 7 years into that journey, right? That kind of personal health and healing journey, discovery journey, spiritual journey. I was studying with masters, with Buddhist masters, with Zen masters, with spiritual masters, like 24/7, and meditating and detoxing. So I'm 7 years in this. I'm teaching, I'm traveling around the country, I'm writing books. People are asking me to speak at their events. And so, I'm this young guy in I don't know, mid-20s by that point, thinking that I know a lot about health and happiness and spirituality, and had a new sense of kind of ego building up at that time, if you will. And then my grandpa was diagnosed with cancer, and I remember going to visit him in Arizona. And when we went into house, it was like everything I thought I knew about health was thrown out the window. I literally went back to kindergarten about health. I felt helpless. I felt hopeless. I felt powerless. It was like I knew that there had to be solutions for him. He was going through traditional chemotherapy and radiation, and for him, it was killing him. It was the moment he started therapy and then continued with it, he got worse and worse and worse and worse until he passed away. And so when I saw him, it was, I think, within about a year of his therapy, and he was just hair falling out and so much pain, so sick, couldn't even go to the bathroom. And I remember sitting there just thinking, I know there's solutions for him. I know there's things he can be doing to help his immune system, even while he's doing this traditional therapy. But I was like most people. I was uneducated about cancer. I hadn't had any real knowledge or experience with cancer up to that point, even though I was really immersed in health. And I just felt like, God, there's something I got to be able to say and do that can help him. And I left there just feeling like powerless, And so when I got back home, and then shortly after that, he passed away. And this was 2013. And literally within a few months after that, it was like, okay, I'm never going to feel that way again. And if I get cancer, my family gets cancer, anybody I know gets cancer, it's like, I want to know what we can do. I want to know our options, our solutions. I want to know what causes it. I want to know what we can do to reverse it. I want to know everything I can. So, I'm never in that position again, and I can help anybody who needs that help. So I literally produced one of the very first online summits about cancer that year. Went on to producing conferences, interviewing hundreds of experts, filmed and directed a 5-year project for a documentary on cancer, did a magazine, and just for the last 8 years now, so since 2013, I've just been totally immersed and obsessed with learning everything I can about cancer and helping others to, one, overcome that fear, but two, be more educated, more empowered, so that we all can make better decisions for our health. After a few years in producing conferences and summits and interviewing, the world leading experts and cancer conquerors and being immersed, I saw pretty quickly, this war happening, this battle going on between conventional medicine and natural medicine. And I thought, well, look, why is this war happening? Why is this battle happening? Without getting into the politics and the history and all that kind of stuff and the finances and all that, the reality is What I discovered was there are many, many, many oncologists and medical doctors and conventional doctors who really, they care about the patient. They care about helping them. They care about getting results. I can't say all, right? Because some people get jaded and tired and whatever, just like in school and teachers, we've all had those teachers who really care about the kids and they do everything they can. And then even with limited resources and information education, right? And then you have the teachers who they've been doing a long time, they just get jaded and they just don't care anymore. I really feel like in conventional oncology today, that's like 80-20, maybe more. Maybe there's more than 80% of doctors who really, maybe there's 90% of doctors who really, really care about helping people. In a lot of cases, they may be missing some things that, you know, the natural industry has, and vice versa. You know, the natural industry has so many great tools and so many great resources for helping the body to heal itself, but they may be missing some of the leading edge technologies and resources that our conventional doctors have. And so I saw this war happening between the two, this divide happening, and I asked the question, who is the one that is getting hurt in the process? And it's the patient. It's the person dealing with the diagnosis, right? That's the person who suffers. So they're already suffering from the cancer diagnosis or the fear of the prognosis, or, you know, the being ostracized by family for choosing one or the other, or not having the solutions or the knowledge or the education of which path they should actually choose. And so they're already suffering from all these different things, financial challenges and you name it, right? Stress and fear. And then on top of it, they have to deal with two opposing industries that are constantly fighting each other, saying, we're right, you're wrong. We're right, you're wrong. And in reality, if they were to work together, right, and actually say, look, let's use the best of all worlds. Let's use the best of all medicine. Let's use what's working, get rid of what's not working, and work together to help the person who actually needs our help. I thought, what a different world we would be in today with cancer. Right? We're not there yet, but my mission and my goal and my hope is that we will get there. And I do see us getting closer to that every day, because I'm getting to meet medical doctors who had this same thought 2 decades ago, and they decided to get certified in holistic medicine, and yet they're still retain their medical title. They still implement medical conventional treatments, but they're also addressing the immune system and diet and nutrition and the mindset and spirituality and supplementation, in addition to using some cutting edge, leading edge, resources, conventional resources to help their patient, because they had the same thought. Look, if I really want to help my patient with the best service I can possibly give them, then why would I shun anything that's working, right? Why don't I use the best of what's working from any field of medicine? And so that's become like a big passion of mine, because it is the person who is either going to prevent cancer or do their best to reverse cancer. They are the ones who are going to be most empowered by this coming together, this unification.